You're listening to 91 Reasons, a journey into the twisted landscape of pop culture. Keep your hands and arms inside the podcast at all times. And now, the voice, Jeff Tucker.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Homestuck episode of 91 Reasons. I'm your co-host, Austin, and this is my other co-host. I'm Luna. And, of course, our main host. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm not the main host. For the purposes of the Homestuck episodes, I'm the moderator. I'm the guy in the background. I am your ghost host. I'm the one who says, keep your hands and arms inside the doom buggy at all times. You're the ones leading us on this journey. I am Jeff Tucker. I am the voice of 91 Reasons, but once a week, we let the show get hijacked and taken over by people with gray skin and candy corn horns and horoscope-themed shirts, which is what you guys were doing this week, right? Making cosplay costumes.
Yeah, we gotta make another Zodiac sort to get ready for WonderCon.
Yeah, I saw your mom was up diligently painting one of your shirts. And go ahead, explain your cosplay. Unveil it for the world.
Oh, I'll be going as Kanaya Mariam to WonderCon. Not the Rainbow Drinkle version, just normal troll Kanaya.
Which is, what does that entail for those? Because, you know, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we have a lot of people who listen to these episodes who are regular 91 Reasons subscribers, who are my age, my generation, and they listen to these out of curiosity. So you sometimes have to spoon feed what the heck you're talking about because they have no idea. Like if I said I stopped at a payphone, you'd go, what? So in the same way that I would have to explain what a payphone is, where you put money into a phone and you get to make a phone call. You have to stand there because it's corded. You have to explain, who are you going as?
Kanaya Mariam.
Kanaya Mariam. Who is Kanaya Mariam?
Well, she's a very unique troll because unlike the other trolls, she isn't nocturnal. She can go out in the daylight without her skin getting burned to death. So she spends most of her day in the daylight doing topiary with her giant chainsaw, and later in the comic using the chainsaw to battle. And she becomes a rainbow drink. Oh, this is a spoiler alert, actually.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Something that happened like 3 or 4 years ago in the comic, but still spoiler alert. She becomes a rainbow drinker, which is basically the troll version of a vampire that drinks blood. And which is kind of ironic because her special ability is she can go out in the daylight and she becomes a vampire. But she has a chainsaw. She wears a Zodiac t-shirt with Virgo on it. That's her Zodiac logo. And that's about it. She likes fashion, which is actually, I just remember that. She actually is the only troll who likes fashion, because trolls don't care about fashion, and this is one of the things that a lot of people I've seen skip over. It is literally stated in comic that trolls don't care about fashion. This is why Nepido wears a dirty old army jacket around. Like, they don't care. It is directly said in canon that Carcat's entire wardrobe is just a Zodiac t-shirt over and over and over again, because they don't like to mix things up. Trezzy, too, just has the same t-shirt. They don't care about fashion, but Kanaya has like 1,000 different outfits he switches between, which is kind of odd because he sticks in one outfit for thousands of pages, and then there'll be some scenes where he keeps switching it constantly. Yeah, so she gets stuck in one outfit, right?
That's all right. Bart Simpson's been wearing that same T-shirt and shorts since 1989. Earlier, if you count the Tracy Ullman shorts.
But this is a character who likes to switch clothes and constantly change outfits.
Well, not by definition of somebody who never changes clothes. Speaking of which, we just celebrated co-host Luna's 18th birthday. 18th birthday, everybody. And how many costume changes, Austin, did you make during his birthday party?
About 12.
About 12 costume changes. Every single one of your troll Homestuck-inspired outfits you wore.
Yes.
Why?
Because I like to wear cosplay. I think it's fun to dress up as the characters.
And who are you dressing up as for WonderCon?
Kanaya Mariam.
Now, Kanaya Mariam's a girl character, and you're going to cross-gender it to be a boy.
No.
What?
I'm just going to wear pants with the outfit instead of a dress. A lot of people who, like, cross-gender it do that, but I'm not really swapping the gender. Here's the thing. To trolls, gender is literally meaningless. They don't care about it because they don't care about fashion. They don't have gender rules. That wasn't a problem. Hussey directly says that. And that was actually a problem of Bephoris, which is another troll planet in an alternate universe. That planet actually did have gender problems and characters who rebelled against society. But from what we can tell from the pixels of the video game, everything, literally outfits, what you did was separated by blood color rather than gender. That's what we can tell from it, the game concept artwork, where he's going with this. Because in the comic, they just sort of all wear blank, either gray skirt or gray pants with a t-shirt.
And you're just going to wear pants.
Yeah.
But that doesn't signify male.
Not really. I mean, all the trolls, you can't, if a person looked at the trolls, it would be hard to tell what gender they are because it doesn't matter, you know?
Well, it depends on who's drawing it, because some drawings, they're just little blobby, pop vinyl looking guys.
The canon
but if you
drawings.
look at about artist renderings, outside artists, they doll them up.
Yeah, but in canon, he's never drawn a troll with any gendered anatomy. No. Even Carcat in canon, was it Carcat, says that trolls' bodies are not different, they all have the same exact body and reproductive organs. And that's one of the things that people really forget, because they go, a lot of people bring up the topic of male and female trolls, despite the fact that in canon, that is denied. Trolls don't have different reproductive organs. They're all exactly the same.
Now, are you aware that while you're talking, while you're doing this show, that people around the world are listening and yelling at you? Because they like to tell you, like, no, that's not what it says. That's not what it says. And recently, this week, you had people approach you online and take you to task for some of your conclusions. Is that correct statement, Austin?
This happened on a Gary's Mod server, and they don't know I do this, so I've never told them about it, which I really should tell them. Maybe I should put it in my Steam description that I'm part of.
It would be another way for people to hate you.
Yeah. But I got in a huge argument over God tier speculation. God tier speculation is just saying you get wrapped up in it. Oh, God. So basically in the comic, characters have god tiers.
We have a class.
It's a class. It's the role they're assigned to. And basically in the game, and when you get to a high enough point, this gives you superpowers. And each character has their own special class, such as for example, some classes could be Thief of Blood, or, what's another one? Bard of Void. Like, these are just random examples.
There's 12 aspects and 14 classes.
Yeah. So, one of the things brought up is by Calliope, who's one of the characters. This character is basically a parody. One of the aspects of this character is that they're a parody of the side of the fandom that makes theories. Throughout the comic, they tend to make theories that turn out to be false, such as Dork having troll fairy wings when they go god tier, or her book being Caliborn's, despite the fact that it was really Rose's book, as far as we can tell. So he runs around, and all the theories are wrong, but he does it because he thinks it's fun to make theories. One of the theories he tells Dork is that God tier classes are based on your gender. C tells Dork, you're a prince because you're male. God tier classes are determined on your gender. But this doesn't really matter, because we see Kankri later on become a seer. And a seer is one of the classes that was believed to be gendered, because it requires wearing a dress and high heels. Yet one of the characters who identifies as a boy and says he before the name wears that. And this person was arguing with me that gender has everything to do with God tier class. And I'm like, but it doesn't. It really doesn't, because we've never seen a class that's restricted to one gender, and a lot of people are going to bring up Prince. We've never seen a gold Prince before. This is where Andrew Hussey comes in. He said on Twitter that God tier and gender have nothing to do with each other, and that is ridiculous. He said that on Twitter. Those are the words of the author. You can look it up yourself. He said that. And I go by Hussey. And this guy was arguing that he says, don't go by Hussey on Twitter. Go by Calliope in the comic, because Hussey wrote that and meant that. He was basically saying that when an author writes a character saying a thing, the author means that thing. And I don't like that at all. That's like when someone takes a J.K. Rowling quote and say J.K. Rowling said it, but he didn't say that like Dumbledore said that. I see this all the time. People take Harry Potter quotes and put J.K. Rowling at the bottom. Because a character says something doesn't mean the writer means that. Like, a villain can have awful opinions, but that doesn't mean the author's going to be like that. They're just writing that to make the villain seem menacing. Calliope makes all these bad theories, but none of them were actually true, and they've all been debunked in Canada at some point, and Hussey said otherwise. Who do you go by? Andrew Hussey saying it on Twitter and in person? Or Andrew Hussey writing a fictional character who's known for making bad theories, making a bad theory? who are you supposed to trust? Well, the guy basically said to trust Calliope more. But I'm like, but Hussey said it on Twitter. Just because Hussey White's Calliope saying something doesn't mean that Andrew Hussey means that exact thing. Where do you stand?
Well, I stand the example I would simply use. I mean, you could use George Lucas, and that would be easy. Because if you go by George Lucas, the Force is not a religion. It's a measurable scientific thing about little creatures, midichlorians who live in your body and somehow amplify and do your bidding by moving objects, i.e. Luke's lightsaber in the Wampa cave, blah, blah, blah. So if you go by that, no. Now, the author doesn't always know best or everything, and sometimes outside forces are better. But a good example to use in this case would be Fight Club. Fight Club, the novel, written by Chuck Palahniuk, is a gritty, dark, male-centered fantasy about young men who have not done anything great with their lives, have dead-end jobs, so they decide to start a club where they basically meet every Friday night and beat the crap out of each other. And that morphs into them pulling pranks. And that morphs into them finally blowing up a big credit union so that they can set everybody's credit rating back to 0 and nobody has any debt. Do I believe that Chuck Palahniuk wants to do all that? No, absolutely not. In fact, I believe Chuck Palahniuk is gay. So this giant book that a lot of guys hold up as like the ultimate symbol of manhood, like, man, Fight Club, man, badass. It was written by a gay guy. No, it wasn't. No way. Yeah, actually it was.
Yeah.
So sometimes people can step outside what you think they're capable of and come up with a fictional universe. And it doesn't mean that Chuck Palahniuk is endorsing either beating the crap out of each other or rolling a giant metal sculptured ball into a Starbucks, which they do in the movie. So, yes, sometimes you have to separate the creator from the creation. They don't always understand it. And they don't always use it as a mouthpiece. Now, that's not always the case. Look at Atlas Shrugged. Ayn Rand was using Atlas Shrugged as a platform. So you could find examples on both sides of this. But if you've got a living creator who is aggressively and actively speaking to the fandom, such as Andrew Hussey, then you are obligated to take his word for it since he's the creator. And if the characters go against what he's saying, he's doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
So either he's doing it on purpose or guess what, kids? He changed his mind. And we'll use George Lucas again. Because Luke and Leia are not brother and sister until Return of the Jedi is midway through filming. In Star Wars and Empire, Luke and Leia are a love interest maybe. They're not brother and sister. Leia plants one on him so big when he's laying in the bed after the Wampa attack that it's not funny. She also plants a giant one when they swing across the Death Star chasm. In Return of the Jedi, suddenly they're brother and sister. That's somebody who has what? Changed his mind. So that's what's going on there.
And it's worth noting that Calliope said that about, 3 years ago in the comic?
Yeah.
And Andrew Hussey said this about, 3 months ago?
Last summer.
Last summer. Last summer is something better to go by than when Calliope's character was first introduced.
Yeah.
And this exact problem was relevant in the fandom before Caliban's character progressed and he became a better person. Back when he was making fun of Jane, wasn't it? People thought Andrew Hussey. I remember that being a big problem. People thought that because Caliban was saying sexist things, Andrew Hussey meant that.
Oh, yeah.
That was a huge problem.
A wild, mega pause. That was a mega pause.
During the mega pause, before Caliban's character had developed and he became a real likable character and is slowly turning into one, he used to be, when he was introduced, a very, very rude sexist character. On purpose, because he's the villain, you're supposed to hate him. People thought because Caliban said this, and they were awful, and people were so offended when they read this, because they thought Andrew Hussey meant that towards them. Because there's a point in the comic where Caliban is just making fun of Jane.
The villain was mean, so that means the author's mean too.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
That's what everyone thought.
Hitler appears in Last Crusade doesn't mean Steven Spielberg likes Hitler. You know, Darth Vader kills children. It doesn't mean George Lucas wants to kill children.
Thankfully, Caliban has become a better character now, and this is not an issue in the fandom at all. No, nobody even mentions it.
I don't know what has happened to Caliban. Caliborn, man. I think he's
Caliborn's character has definitely gone somewhere.
He's become Andrew Hussey.
He's become Andrew Hussey. He has become a parody of the
Instead of
story's
being
own author.
Parody of the bad side of the fandom. He's become a parody of Andrew Hussey. We don't get it.
And this brings up the Calliope thing I just mentioned. Calliope is a parody of the good side of the fandom that likes to speculate about God tier and make theories,
Yeah.
while Caliborn is a parody of the bad side of the fandom that
Yeah.
makes not safe for work art.
Yeah.
And yeah, those are the two sides of the fandom being parodied here.
Yeah. We have a special guest here. Come on in here and say
Hi.
hello.
Hello.
We have Josie here, your sister. Do you have any Homestuck information you'd like to give us this week?
No.
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 So what the hell are you doing here?
To listen.
To listen. We'll get out of here. We're trying to do a show, kid.
Let's continue the show now.
Josie is not canon, just so you know.
I have a headcanon he was in the show a lot.
Oh, don't bring up your head canon. It doesn't count. Your head canon doesn't count.
But in my headcanon, the whole show was about horses. It was this great story. I should write this down. It's my headcanon.
Yeah, that's great. We should talk about you were playing Team Fortress and something happened to you.
Yes, I
Austin.
was.
Go ahead.
I was approached by someone, and when I see someone, the first thing I think of, because, when I see someone I don't recognize that I haven't been with in the Homestuck areas much, so, but the first thing I think of is it's either someone who wants to trade with me or someone's going to try and scam my TF2 items. Because recently I have been so active on trade sites and rising up to attempt to be a big trader that every day I get all these people trying to scam me.
They all have Homer Simpson as their profile
Okay,
picture.
we're gonna go a little off topic here, but every one of them is Homer Simpson as their avatar pixel. Like every day I log into Steam and there's 20 more people with the same pixel of Homer Simpson trying to scam me out of my account. And they all have generic names, Lewis, Thomas, Jerry, and they all have Homer's pixel. This weird image of Homer Simpson's, his eyes are all dazed. And they all keep adding me. Like I get Steam notifications, another 10 Homer Simpsons trying to scam my account.
It could be worse. It could be Dragon Ball Z Homer.
Oh,
That guy that cosplays at all the conventions.
every convention.
Every
Just
convention.
imagine that guy opening his closet and going, I got it. I got the
Every
outfit. I
time.
never have to worry about what I'm going to wear ever again.
This person added me, and I'm like, oh, how can I help you? That's my salesman pitch right there. And they actually said they were a fan of the show. And I'm like, oh my goodness, really? And they wanted to give me something, and oh my god, it's really...
Favorite name for his-
Yes, I would like to give a huge thank you to GameKiller48 for donating Team Fortress items for me. Because with these items, I can start as like a base to really start rising up in the trading community, and hopefully get bigger. Thank you so much for your donation. I take it as a donation towards the show, really, because it just means so much to me. It really does.
Well, that's great. That means that people are listening to you and enjoying it and wanting to somehow take a part. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it,
No, because we're doing the show to try to get to people, to try to start a dialogue and a conversation. And if that's his way of doing it, then that's fantastic, you know?
Yeah, and they are actually pretty big in the trading community. And I went to go look at their profile. They do have some Counter-Strike workshop submissions I saw, and I recommend you vote for them because... Really, I recommend you vote for their weapons.
Because
to
you've
get
been
in.
bribed, is what you're saying. You should vote for them because, why? Their platform or what they believe in? They gave me free stuff. Nothing wrong with that.
They gave me a donation towards the show.
Yeah.
And I sort of felt guilty accepting it. Like, should I be accepting money
Yeah,
as
well,
a
why
donation?
not? You would insult them if you didn't accept it.
Would
They'd be
I?
like, what a jerk, you didn't take my free hats. What's wrong with free hats,
You get
man?
Keys.
Oh, you gave keys, not hats.
Keys
Yeah.
are worth like 10 hats each.
Oh, but wait a minute.
I think they're up to 15 hats each.
What? How does the? Well, okay, wait a minute. Pretend I don't know anything about Team Fortress, which is easy to do because I don't. What's the lowest form of currency?
Weapons.
Scrap metal. No, weapons.
Weapons.
Weapons
you
is
get-
the lowest form
Yes.
of currency.
Weapons you get as a random drop. You get 10 free every week. 2 weapons makes a scrap. 3 scraps makes a reclaimed, and 3 reclaimed makes a refined. Keys, which are $2.50 in the store, are right now at about 15 refined metal. Hats are 1 to 2 refined, more for their rare hats.
Sometimes I get hats with .88.
Yeah, hats are
Metal.
getting really cheap lately. Refined's failing. Refined used to be like a quarter each. Now they're like 16 cents of refined
And
metal.
considering the inflation of keys right now, I would say if you bought a key at this moment and just wanted to get some metal quickly, you could trade in for about 14 to 15 hats.
Yeah.
How many canuts make a sickle? How many sickles make a galleon? Does that not work?
And then if you really want to go into the Team Fortress economy, you factor in earbuds, Bill's hats, and Man Up tickets, which are more forms of currency. There are some items, some hats, then this hat is so popular, and people want this hat so much, that it becomes a currency. Like, I'll give you 5 of this exact hat for this. That hat has become a form of money.
Yeah.
Like earbuds.
Earbuds. They came out if you signed in Team Fortress on Linux when it was first launched. And now those earbuds are worth about $30 each. On the trading...
And you're not talking real earbuds. You're talking about a virtual item in the game. It does not exist in any way, shape, or form except as pixels.
But people put hundreds of dollars into buying 20 earbuds.
And they can invest in this hat. Or another one is Bill's hats.
Unusual hats are the
But
most
you
expensive.
guys are aware that Virtual Magic Kingdom did this, where people had full houses of all these items they had traded, they had bought, they had gone to the park to get, and then one day Disney pulled the plug on it.
They just said it's gone. Go
But-
home.
You see this happening with Team Fortress? One day they just pull the plug because everything is
know.
popular and then it goes away.
There's rumors, there's plans to move it onto the Source 2 engine. They're making a whole new engine for the new Left 4 Dead and supposedly the new Half-Life 3.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. But they're trying to, instead of making Team Fortress 3, they're just going to pick up Team Fortress 2 and move it to the new engine.
Move every hat.
There's the chance that it's just going to completely crash and just be gone forever.
And
they're preparing for the worst.
They've gotten scared to the point where every item that comes out is a special limited quantity. And there's
every item that's come out for about a year now says limited in the name. And it's saying you will not be able to get these again. And the gimmick with limited is you can sell them in the marketplace to get money back. So you're not stuck with the hat.
Yeah, but isn't that a catchphrase or a slogan they put on everything? Like, I've seen Star Wars figures that are like limited edition. Well, that means like 10 mil.
Well, here's the thing.
And this is something where there's no factory making this. The guy at the Team Fortress studio makes one, and then he copies and pastes the code, and that's it.
That's it.
They don't actually make the items. The community does.
The community makes the items.
You have to help me figure this out.
Okay.
I am old. I do not understand a virtual currency of any kind except PayPal. But I just don't understand.
here
Like,
it is.
why is this a thing? Why do you care?
here's
Can't you just play the game with the items that you're given? Why is it so much
Because
better
it's a
to have?
status thing to show off.
Hats. You can have cool outfits.
Unusuals are the best. Unusuals, you get a fiery effect or planets floating around you, and those could be upwards of hundreds of dollars.
This must be a generation gap because I would never pay extra for planets to float around me. I don't
It's like
understand.
an extra $100. You
But
can pay 4 cents.
I have
or
a story.
$100.
I have a story I saw on Face
What?
Punch, which is my favorite Team Fortress community.
Yeah.
It was this guy, and he decided to buy a key for $250, and he actually didn't trade in the key for hats. He used it. What you can do with keys, you can use them on a crate and randomly get any hat in that crate series, or an unusual. He opened it up for $250, and he got an unusable hat that he sold for $700 and did all his Christmas shopping with one hat.
I don't know what that says about we as a race.
But you don't
I don't understand why a different coded item would be
Yeah.
worth $700. It's not like a hat that you have in your closet.
Yeah.
It's not a hat that somebody made with care. It's pixels.
Mm-hmm.
Why are pixels worth anything?
Because you can make your characters
put
look nice
value
and
to it.
dress them up.
You only have a 1% chance of getting that when you open a crate. And it costs $2.50 to open a crate.
$2.15 to get a hat.
By that math, all unusual should be about $250. Because
Of course.
That's how much you'll have to spend to get one.
And using that math, most Team Fortress items would be $250 each. But
Yeah.
the problem is Team Fortress's community is not based on quantity or how you get items, but based on hype.
Yeah.
If an item comes out for $100, but it's a dumb item, it's going to be $1 by the next day. That's how it works.
But the base reason why they're valuable is arbitrary. It's set by
Yeah.
the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
set by the guys who run the game. So it shouldn't have any worth. Like the people who drill for oil and make gasoline set the rate, but I have no
Yeah.
control because I have to have it. If I don't have gas in my car, I can't go anywhere. That's a tangible gallon of item. But I could still play the game without the $250 hat.
So you can't see it. It's first person.
If you buy...
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, my God.
What?
Are you telling me that you don't even see the hat you're
no,
wearing?
other people see it.
Oh, my God.
You can see it when you taunt.
This might be the dumbest thing you have ever talked about. A virtual item that you yourself don't even see.
Yeah. You see it in the loadout screen.
You see it on the character select menu and when you taunt.
I am in the wrong business.
The best part, if there's a cosmetic that's like gloves for your character, it doesn't show up in first person. You still see the generic hands.
But everybody else sees.
Everyone else sees the gloves.
Well, that's a glitch in the game. They should at least let you see the crap that you're
It's not
virtually
even a glitch.
buying.
It was just Valve coded this in 2007, and fixing it would be too much trouble.
The game's 8 years old if we haven't mentioned that, by the way. And you can
guys boggle my mind with what you spend your time with.
But we're all crossing our fingers. There's going to be Homestuck promo items.
Yes, that would be so amazing. Like, imagine getting a genuine Zillyhoo, genuine Trollhorns.
Any kind of big game comes out on Steam, but they add a few items into Team Fortress 2 as an advertisement.
All I want is a Cawcat Scout outfit.
So you're anticipating that when Andrew Hussey finally releases the Homestuck game, that there will be some sort of cross-promotion on Team Fortress.
Yeah.
You'll be able to buy these virtual Homestuck items.
Yes.
Because the game is coming out.
Yeah.
You guys are so optimistic. I say that every episode.
But you don't understand.
That game's never coming out.
But yeah.
But
everyone on Hussey's team, if you view their Steam profiles, they have hundreds of hours in Team Fortress 2.
And they have unusuals, and they're in the big trading business.
And we know that Hussey has been in contact with Valve before because they turned him down on producing the game.
And we know that Valve loves to reference Homestuck a lot.
Yeah, there's multiple Homestuck references in Team Fortress.
They also have, like, for example, there's a heavy item, and the description just goes into this long rant about Con Air.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Valve,
Con Air.
If you watch expiration date, they make a bucket joke.
The Team Fortress animated short episode they made, it was a promo for Adult Swim, but never made it on TV. They make a Homestuck bucket joke.
And this was supposed to air in 2012 when buckets were the big thing in the fandom. So it would have made sense to have that joke at the time even.
Mm-hmm.
We also have to highlight our Patreon page, which you go to patreon.com, Patreon, and search 91 Reasons, and the page will come up. We got a nice $35 pledge from our first fully Homestuck dedicated listener, whose name is what?
Whisker Circuit.
So a celebrity, an actual character from the comic, pledged on our Patreon. Let's hear it up for Vriska.
He's a pretty big character.
What gender is Vriska? Neither?
Well, they use the C pronouns, but once again,
pronouns and
it hardly matters for the trolls, and you could hardly tell. Vriska, I think, is the only troll that there's like 2 panels where Hussey drew her feminine. Mm-hmm. That's it. And I know a lot of people are going to bring up Mina Bound, where all the characters are drawn with male and female body types, but those are not drawn by Hussey.
Kids, Jane is drawn female.
Just so she can look different from John.
Yeah, she has to be.
But Vriska pledged enough, and when that pledge goes through at the end of February, we will be watching something that Vriska would like us to watch, which is Homestuck Act 1.
By the Collab HQ.
By Collab HQ. We'll watch, we'll give you a full review on that on the show based off the Patreon pledge. So that is a definite way to reach into the show and say, do what I ask you to do and do what I want. And we have no problem with that because all that money goes directly to producing the show, buying the bandwidth and the hosting. And we're going to get some new microphones and all kinds of stuff. So we really appreciate everybody who's pledging on Patreon, which is really a great way to help the show. If you don't have the money, we don't care. It doesn't matter to us. You can also just tell your friends. You can share the links. You can go to iTunes and give us a review. You don't have to spend money. That's not why we're doing this. We're doing it because you guys love this webcomic and you wanted to share your knowledge and love with people around the world. And it is like, talk just a minute about what does it mean to not only have somebody give you these amazing virtual items, but cold hard cash that they worked hard for directly to you guys because you're doing this show. What does that mean?
A lot. Like when Game Killer 48 gave me those keys, it means like, oh my goodness. First off, this is an amazing donation. Second off, I'm doing something right. I'm doing a good job on this show. Like, people actually like listening to me, and that means a lot.
Yeah, it's weird there's actual people listening right now in the future to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the show's not live. They're not listening
Yeah.
right now. Well, the CIA is, but not the fans yet. This episode will go up Wednesday night. We're recording this early, folks, just so you know time frame. If something big happens in Homestuck Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday,
We'll cover what
the
next
reason
week.
we're not talking about it. Like if Hussey were to release the game or go on Twitter, the reason we're not talking about it is actually this is Sunday night. We're recording this episode early because we're headed to where?
Vegas.
Las Vegas, Homestuck capital of the world. Not really, but we're going for a little mini vacation, and we're going to be back. We wanted to make sure we had an episode ready to go the minute we return, so that we're not exhausted and sitting down into an episode. Because this way, you get us fresh. We're ready to go. But that's the only reason, if something major happened, why we're not talking about it, because we're doing it in advance. We're time traveling.
I have something I want to bring up. Can I?
It's your show.
Can I bring us back on the Valve train? We're not going to go into the Hatland at Team Fortress. Today we're going to go somewhere totally different, into Gary's mod.
Oh, yeah.
And we've talked about Gary's mod a lot because of Baby Fondling's Homestuck playset, which is amazing, by the way. Please download it. But I actually want to talk about a different Homestuck Gary's mod thing that was just released. And for those of you confused right now, Gary's mod is basically a version of Half-Life 2, the popular video game, that is a sandbox where you can spawn any Half-Life prop character or level you want and do whatever you want. Or you can go online and play with people who play as the Half-Life characters and do stuff. However, you can create whatever you want and put it into the game. Like, for example, Baby Fondling's made all the Homestuck characters to play as and ported them over into the game. So now you can play as all the Homestuck characters that they modeled. And I want to talk about the Homestuck Model Pack, which is another Homestuck add-on created by
Me.
Luna from the show, who created a Homestuck Gary's mod pack.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what this pack is.
I released it last November and have been updating, trying once a month since then. I've been practicing 3D modeling, so I basically just made Homestuck objects and a few settings and ported them into the source engine, which isn't easy. It's not easy. Valve's pipeline's crazy.
It's technology from 1998.
Yeah, they haven't updated the source engine for like 20 years now.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of, what are we at? We're at 20 models now? Probably a little over that.
We have-
I haven't counted.
There's smaller models like the Cherub Lollipop or the Hussy horse fighting a football player painting. There's also larger props like Carcats with Koopa-Coon, the fourth wall with multiple skins you can go in between.
Yeah, you can make it so it's Hussy or John or Shrek.
And the most recent thing you released is Calliope Stades.
Yeah, I released the full stage. It's only half done right now, but I put it in how it is anyway.
And what is it like making these?
It's difficult. It took me about a month, a little over a month, to get it all down, how to do it from scratch. And then I've just been slowly learning things since then, as I needed them.
There's actually a Homestuck server I love to go on called Cuddlefish & Co., which is basically a really popular Homestuck Gary's mod server that is constantly full of people. And they have decided to use Luna's Homestuck model pack on the server.
A few Homestuck servers have my pack loaded in.
And
Cuddlefish is the one we use because it's local.
What is it like when you go in there and they're just messing around with
Just
your
mess
props?
with my stuff, yeah.
Like-
people make stuff with my stuff. There's a pack which is you can edit who you're playing as, so they use my props and their characters. There, you can make dupes, or you make little scenes to set up and save them. People use my stuff in that. It's all really cool.
People are doing virtual photo shoots with your items all the time.
Yeah.
They're role playing with your items.
I try to make my items. Some are aimed for role play, and some are aimed for picture taking. I've been trying to make them both now. It's not easy to do.
When you first made the pack, you made it photo oriented.
It was photo-oriented.
A lot of the items were one sided. You couldn't see the other
There
side.
was no back to them, or they were only good from a certain angle.
You could clip right through them.
Yeah, they didn't have good collisions, that kind of stuff.
But then you realized that when you
I
Cuddlefish
thought
enabled
people
it,
would want to take pictures with them. But no, people want to play with them.
they
So
want to mess around with them
they
and
didn't
role
do
play.
anything.
And
So now I had to go back in and make them all do stuff.
now you're trying to make more interactive props, like a stage you can go on or a bed you can sleep in.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I haven't learned coding yet. You have to learn certain types of coding to get them to actually animate and do stuff.
But they're still props made for play with.
Yeah, I can do animated textures.
They're made that you can make dupes with them and use them in pack and that
Yeah,
type of thing.
I just make the model. You guys are supposed to rig them up and make stuff with them.
Is there anything else you want to say about your modeling experiences?
I don't know, huh?
Do you want to reveal anything you're working on? I know you have
I-
you have like 10 major secret projects in the works right now.
Yes, I'm currently learning how to do player models for a secret reason. I'm not going to say it because it may not never happen. I don't want to get people excited. But I am for sure working on a map.
I'm not gonna say what it is. I know you want to
There's
keep it
a
a
preview
secret.
picture on my Tumblr that you can find on my Steam page. It's Become It Makes Things.
.tumblr.com.
Yeah. And I haven't said what the map is, but if you see it, you should be able to figure it out. It's not textured yet, but it looks pretty good.
I seen it and it looks pretty nice for what you have so
I'm
far.
hoping to have the basic layout of the map done by early March or late February, and I'll do a private beta testing for it before I do any of the art passes.
And how would you do this beta testing? How would you do this?
I'm gonna look into how the workshop works. I think it's if you're friends with the person. I don't know if that's how I want to set it up, or else I may just do a topic on the Reddit that links to a Dropbox to download it. Just something small.
And when this map is finally finished, this full Homestuck roleplay map of a secret setting, are you going to try and approach the giant Homestuck server and try and say, will you play on my
I'm
map?
gonna put it up, and I'm gonna put in the Cuttlefish suggestion thread. I'm sure they'll put it in. It's their type of thing. There hasn't been a new Homestuck map for years.
Yeah,
Super Mario 64 guy and what's his name?
Kizzy Cola.
Kizzy Cola. They disappeared last summer. They were working
Yep.
on all kinds of stuff. Then last summer they disappeared.
they had big projects planned. I know those images on the internet of unfinished. I don't know if...
Super and Hella Jeff 2.
No.
Right?
There's another one that not a lot of people know
one?
about. This image is really buried in
Which
Steam.
one?
Full roleplay prospect. I've seen
Prospect.
pictures of
Have you
it.
seen a prospect? I've heard of Trade Loac. There's supposed to be a TF2 trade map of Dave's planet, but I've never seen pictures. It's just floating around.
Apparently, before we got into this, like back in 2011, back when Homestuck was in its early days, when it hadn't gotten super popular, there was not a Gary's Mod server yet,
Yeah.
like Cuttlefish, but there was instead a huge TF2 server that ran custom TF2 Homestuck
they had
maps
a
and
few
add-ons.
TF2 maps.
Now there's no Homestuck
John's
TF2
house is the one
server.
that still goes around because Super Mario 64 guy still updates it every now and then.
I think a Homestuck TF2 server would be an amazing idea.
Yeah,
like people would...
it's a hard thing to get people in.
Well, the thing is, there was one for like a
But
day.
they did Homestuck in the certain.
It was called Fortress Stuck, and that's not clear.
Stuck, so you couldn't search Homestuck server and have
The
it come
reason
up.
Cuttlefish & Co. is so popular is because they're called Cuttlefish & Co. and then in parentheses, a Homestuck server.
Yeah, so if you Googled Homestuck Gmod, it'd come up.
And all the popular Homestuck Gary's Mod servers have that, in parentheses, Homestuck,
Yeah.
so you know what it is. If there was a TF2 server that was called, like, Fortress Stuck or Team Fortress Stuck, and then had parentheses, Homestuck or a Homestuck server, I think it would do really well, because there's so many
Yeah.
Homestucks who play the game I bump into, but there's no proper server for everyone to meet.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention about your modeling experience?
I think that's about it. That's all the stuff I'm working on. If you got ideas for props, that's always good. More stuff to make.
Yeah, if you have any ideas for maps,
my
props,
Steam, I have a
characters,
suggestion thread on the workshop page. I'll post a link on the Reddit to my Steam.
it's called the Homestuck Model Pack by Become
Yeah.
Ip. And if you go into the suggestion thread, you can suggest any model, and you'll probably end up making it. Is there anything you think you couldn't be capable of?
Characters right now.
Characters.
Everyone wants me to do grubs, but I can't do them yet.
Perhaps once you finish your secret thing, you can
I'll
get
look
better
back
with
at
characters.
How to do rigging? Yeah, I'm not good with bones.
Oh, do you want to
Make
tell
static props.
the tale of what happened while trying to rig a ragdoll or no?
Ooh, I tried to rig Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, and I got it pretty good, but his fingers, I don't even know how to explain it. They're
Chris
just-
Pratt's gnarly fingers.
Yeah, it didn't work out right. So, I do have a Homestuck plan for player models, but I have to figure out how to work them first. If anyone knows any tutorials on how to get the fingers to look right, can you send me the link? Because I can't find anything.
And then maybe you could have some secret Homestuck player models.
Yes,
I wonder what
found
they
a
could be.
Secret place to get characters that aren't ported into Gmod yet.
And it's very hard to get in contact with the original people who made these stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. But the map is definitely something I'm hoping to release on 4.13. 6.12 is the latest.
And isn't there actually another Homestuck map in the works?
Which one?
The Hawkat's house map.
Yeah, Baby Fawnleg says she's working on one too, but we haven't seen any pictures of it, so we
She's
don't know what
really
she's
busy
doing.
right now working on a Wadia. If you go on your blog, in her blog, you can see pictures of that.
Yeah.
She's also found a way, and you're gonna like this. Sia's programmed her own cosmetics and hats just like Team Fortress 2. Exactly the same, basically, except it's different stuff. Sia's found a way to make it so they all sew up in first person, so you can actually see your gloves, see your feet, see your shoes. You don't gypped out.
She goes on for a few days, comes back saying, "All right, figure out how to get him show in first person, looking good." And we're like, Valve's been working on that for 9 years. They haven't figured it out yet. How'd you just do it in a weekend?
I think Baby Fondlegs needs to be hired.
She needs to be hired by someone. The fact that she's not doing the character models for the game really upsets me.
See, so be working on the video game will be with Valve because she's amazing what she does and how she bends the Source engine to do these
I'm
things that you don't
hoping
seem
he'll
like you
do
would
with
do.
the video game like he does with the comic, where he gets guest artists to do stuff. And
I hope she's
Baby
working on.
Fondlegs needs to do something for the game.
She should be working on it. She should be the main modeler. Her models look better than the images we've seen of the game.
Yeah.
You gotta admit that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Hussey takes 8 months to make one sprite mode model, and Baby Fondlegs releases 6 fully wigged player models in 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, she's definitely going at a faster pace than Hussey.
Have you made a Duddle?
A Duddle, no. Squiddle, I'm still working on. I think I have a half-finished one somewhere. I'm gonna do a whole update that's just plushies. The Squiddles and the Tavros's bear and the Smuppets, but those are hard to model because they're organic. They're
So,
smooth.
you have a half-finished Duddle on your computer somewhere?
It's a Squiddle base, yeah. It doesn't have a texture or
Aw.
a bottom or anything.
So that's all using the Team Fortress
Inzen.
engine,
It was made for
right?
Half-Life.
Half-Life.
But
But
used it for Team
it's
Fortress.
reused for Team Fortress, Portal, Counter-Strike. They all use the same engine. Valve makes their games with the same stuff.
Well, this is what we've noticed in a lot of video games is that it used to be you only did what the game wanted you to do. And now you see where people are more interested in sitting down and making all of their own stuff and sort of personalizing the game. That seems to be like, can you trace that back to a particular game?
Probably some of the early GTAs. Those are the first one people really went wild with because it was a really nice engine you could have vehicles with.
You're
and
talking about the
weapons.
computer version.
Computer version of Vice City and San Andreas.
Yeah,
I-
because there
First
were
big games.
Back to the Future DeLoreans.
And the
that
early
was the first time I
early
saw that.
Sims had a lot of that because that was easy to. It was such a simple game to put stuff in.
What was the first? Go ahead, Austin. I'm sorry.
I can figure out the first few guys. The original Half-Life.
The original Half-Life? That was
The
Quake before that.
The original Half-Life.
What were you saying, Dad?
Well, I was just going to say, what was the first commercial one where the game company said, okay, we get it, this is what you guys want, and the reaction is, stop doing it on your own when we can sell it to you.
That was Little Big Planet.
It's got to be Little Big Planet,
Little Big
right?
Planet was the first game, Play, Create, Share. It was their subtitle. And Sony said, we're copywriting Play, Create, Share, and we have a whole line of games based off of it.
And they only released Little Big Planet.
No, they did Mod Nation, the racing version.
Yeah. So we have Josie here. Now, Josie, come in. Let her in here. You play Little Big Planet all the time.
Oh, yes.
So get up on the mic. Now, you've grown up
Mm-hmm.
thinking that video games were made to be your own creation.
Yes, because
You-
that's what they all are.
Yeah, I know.
You
isn't it?
create your own.
You're only 9, so this is all. Get up on the mic. This is what you know,
Yep.
right? So when you play Little Big Planet, did you play the game that was encoded on the disc, or do you only care about the sandbox portion?
We only care about the sandbox motion where we can just create.
You gotta get on the mic, honey.
We mostly play on the sandbox area where we can just create and make our own stuff. We don't really play the story mode levels.
Yeah, but you buy like they managed to find a way to sell you more. So the downloadable content are all these licensed character costumes. I know because you just had me buy you something the other day.
The other day, that was like a month ago.
Which one was it?
I think it was
Was
the Spider-Man
Spider-Man
skin.
set. Spider-Man skins. Now, the thing is also that this game is not only sandbox where you're creating your own levels, but it's social because then you're sharing them on the internet so that anybody can play. Now, Josie, you sit and actually socialize while you're playing the game, right?
Yes.
What?
Yes, I do.
Tell us what that is about.
Well,
How does that work?
it's basically where if you have a microphone headset, where you can plug it into your PlayStation, might be PlayStation, and you could talk to other people that could be across the world. I know somebody who lives in Louisiana. I have someone who lives in Seattle. They're all over the place, basically. You could just and if you don't even have a mic, there's this place where you can just chat. Like there's a chat thing in your little area.
That's so bizarre because my childhood was spent at the pizza joint playing Pac-Man and Galaga and all these other games. and we chatted with the guy standing next to us. So the idea that, like, you guys are too young to remember, there was a movie called Cable Guy with Jim Carrey.
I knew you were going to mention that.
Where, if you watch it, he talks about the future of cable, and he's like, you could play Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam. And the whole time we're like, no one's gonna play Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam. And guess what you can do today?
Yeah.
You can play Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam. So that was 1996, and we're finally at an age where that's the normal. Like that's all that Josie knows. And when you guys were playing Little Big Planet, the first thing you did was sit down and make every kind of Homestuck costume.
Yes.
So not only can you create these massive levels, but you can also create the costumes that the character is wearing.
Back when I was really into Star Wars in like 2011, before I went Homestuck, I made Star Wars costumes, and then I made the costumes savable and gave them to people in costume levels. And I just made this level as a fun little thing. I like, there might be a guy out there who gets one of my costumes. This level ended up getting thousands of plays and becoming really popular. So I went through every Star Wars movie making themed costumes. And they all got hundreds of plays, but there was one that got thousands of plays. This level was so immensely popular. People ran around these costumes like crazy. And that is my Phantom Menace themed level. There was nothing worse than saying, your Star Wars levels are amazing. Really? Everyone's running around your costumes. Really? Yeah, the Phantom Menace ones. What?
We're playing the Phantom Menace, Little Big Planet at
like, seriously?
the Blanket household.
I always liked the lesser Little Planet game, karting.
Yeah, because you can make 3D levels.
Little Planet karting, you can make levels. If you own Little Planet karting, search up John's house at Homestuck, because I actually made a full replica of his house, and it's the first 3D modeling I did, because the engine in that game is actually pretty good.
It's just like Blender.
Yeah, just basic shapes and stuff.
Do you feel when making that you knew that eventually someday you'd be making a wheel map for the Source Engine?
Nothing on this scale, no.
And because that's a map, you make it and you publish it, and a few people play it. Now you're doing it on a much larger scale.
I haven't checked the John's house in a year and a half.
It might have taken off.
I know it could have taken off, be the #1 map in the game. The creators have put it at the top levels, and I've never checked. Who knows where it is?
Now you're on a much larger scale, because now, more than just making a map and publishing it, servers can run it. Not just like a racing one where you're switching maps every few minutes.
Karting had a bad setup.
If you make this world-play map and it catches on, there could be Homestuck servers that constantly just run this map forever.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
That's, wow. Please. Finish it. It's a orange untextured box.
I get like playing in the sandbox of these established games, and you're basically taking a game and altering the look of it. You're not really altering the gameplay, right? Because the gameplay is
depends.
the gameplay.
The Source Engine's open. Source Engine, you can edit the gameplay all you want. Other engines are more strict.
Has anybody taken the leap to make like a Homestuck game that looks like Donkey Kong or something vintage?
There's a few. There's Hammerkind, which is a little flash mini game someone made of John on his rooftop fighting imps. It's really fun. It's one of the few Homestuck games the creator said the game's 100% done, have fun with it. There's Home Strife, which is a Smash Brothers clone that
got canceled.
It got shut down. What Pumpkin says they ran out of funding and time, and so they went to What Pumpkin saying, "Can we team up with you guys? We can get it done if we have your help." And What Pumpkin said, "Yeah, it's not really up to our standards. Sorry," and it got shut down. He gave out the full source code so other people could continue the project, but it's dead.
Trezzy Pyro Ace Attorney, that one also died.
Trezzy Pyro Ace Attorney, they got 2 or 3 episodes in. That's an Ace Attorney reskin.
Featherbent.
Featherbent is the most popular. It's a visual novel. It's not a walk around. It's a visual novel, I think, of some really weird AU where they're all birds. I never liked it, but it's all the big voice actors and stuff, so people really like it.
The problem I have with Featherbent is the characters have been headcanoned and AU'd so much on such a grand...
It's hardly Homestuck.
Yeah.
It's just their own sort of thing.
But the characters have the names John, Vriska. But Vriska, I've seen the pictures of Featherbent Vriska. They don't look like Vriska. And the reason this upsets me is they look so unlike the Homestuck characters, but the game has so much work put into it. This should be its own game on Steam Greenlight that could be really popular.
Take off the branding. It could be on Steam, but Hussey will never allow it as it is.
It's because it's a Homestuck game, despite the fact that it's not very Homestuck.
And then what's the other one? What's the 2-player one?
You mean the Dave one where you went around his planet?
Yeah, you run around the kid's planet. It's a 2D side scroller.
That one was finished too.
It was never 100. He never said 100%. It's done. It's at a really good stage where you can play it now.
And some guy's trying to make Suburb right now.
And then Suburb the game, which is on the Unity engine, which is really cool. It's the style. He took the comic style, so it looks nice. But he just started it last summer, so it's gonna be a while before it's at a playable stage.
And then there's a Dave one where you're on a skateboard going across rooftops, right?
That's just a little flash game.
That's a little
Skate or die.
Yeah, that's a side scroller. Move around and dodge the stuff. It's fun.
It's fun.
There's a few sweep row games where it's just a ragdoll falling down stairs.
See, I would play that one.
Yeah. Someone made an actual sweep row game with all these terrible mini games in it and stuff, and he put the Dropbox on Reddit, and it was like a 3 gigabyte download. And the game's only a few megabytes. The rest is all bad images and My Little Pony fan fiction. There's like over a gigabyte of My Little Pony fan fiction when you try to download his game.
That sounds great.
It's all part of the Sweet Bro experience.
Yeah, that's great.
But
Sweet Bro, man.
But I think that covers them all.
yeah,
What about that one where it was called Car Cat Man? And it was a little car cat. It looked just like Pac-Man, except he was collecting little buckets.
Oh God!
Why,
Don't give
dude?
them any ideas.
You ever played that one?
Don't give them ideas.
Oh, I think I just made that one up. You don't remember that one? Da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. And he's like, wah, 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 wah. Those are buckets he's picking up.
Why?
And they're sloshing over.
why are you doing
They're
this?
sloshing over the buckets. What do you think?
You know
And
what?
instead of ghosts, it's the Duddles chasing him around.
That sounds better than the Homestuck game.
Yeah. What Homestuck game? Oh, that it was too close to home. Ooh, sucker.
But out of all these games, I like Gary's Mod the best because
Mod,
even when you're not making the actual mods, when you're playing the actual game itself, it's still a sandbox mode where you can create your own character and build your own stuff out of the pre-made parts, just like
Yeah.
Little Big Planet. You basically get access to every Half-Life prop and Homestuck item that Luna has made. And there's also Pack Character Creator, which is a really complicated character creation system that I'm trying to learn. It is really complicated. And what we do is we take the Fawn Legs models, because he's modeled the Homestuck sprite modes, and use them as a base to create the other characters that haven't been made for Gary's mod. Like, I've taken Diamond's Droog, and I have altered him so much using the in-game character creator and spent hours working on it, to the point where he has become Grandpa Harley, or Andrew Hussey. I made Andrew Hussey in-game, out of in-game stuff.
All right, so we're going to wrap up with this. In honor of our trip tomorrow to Las Vegas, we're going to imagine what the Homestuck Hotel and Casino would look like.
Oh boy.
Andrew Hussey's been given the green light. He's been given $750 million to build a brand new Las Vegas hotel and casino themed to Homestuck. What is it in the shape of?
But
The shape of
the house, maybe.
kind of defies all gravity.
Yeah, but still.
He finds a way.
There's no rules here.
Like, he can't even make this hotel because it's for a teen-oriented audience, and you can't make slot machines and arcades based on that.
They're
type of
doing
audience.
it. No, don't bring
Homestuck
logic.
was originally aimed at a 30 to 40-year-old audience. The
Don't
first few
yeah.
acts
Don't
of
bring logic into
middle-aged
this.
People his age.
So it's a giant. You're talking about the house logo. That's what the casino looks like. You
Oh,
walk in. Charles Dutton is greeting you. He's the greeter.
Why?
That job?
Exactly. We're gonna hire him.
All
Okay.
All the slot machines have to be 80s movies.
Okay. That's what I'm looking for. What are the slot machines themed to?
You gotta-
Ghostbusters, anything with Nick Cage in it.
There's a Con Air machine.
Con Air
Yeah.
When you
machine.
pull the handle, it goes, "How do I live without you?"
You know the giant slot machine they have? That's like, it's colossal, and you can win big from it.
The big,
That's-
the gimmicky one.
That one's themed after Ghost Dad, and there was a Bill Cosby ghost phasing through the slot machine.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And when you hit the jackpot, it spews out pudding. You won the jackpot. I don't drink the pudding, right? Right?
God.
Okay, so you go up to the front desk, and what does the uniform look like? Whose uniform? Because everybody in the hotel has to be in a costume. So all the front desk is
So what's
dressed.
the bellhop uniform? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, and the front
I
desk.
think John's ecto gear would look good.
Yeah.
With the blue and green suit.
Yeah, and they're
That's
like,
what's formal
"Welcome
enough.
to what's the name of it? It's
Dames.
at Casino Stuck, Hotel Stuck.
Hotel stuff.
It's called
No.
Hotel Stuck. You're home stuck away from home.
When people do Homestuck Hotel they use, they have a name they use.
What's that?
It's the best name you can ever imagine. Hotel California.
That's it. So, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely
What's
place.
that guy's name on Tumblr?
Fail Cody.
Sarah Code. He had one RP a long time ago called Hotel California, and Austin came in and ruined it. To this day, his Tumblr description is still, "I regret Hotel California."
Well, we're building it on the Vegas Strip. It looks like
Right
the
next to
logo
the Hard Rock on the
right
Strip?
next to the Hard Rock, so that Nick Cage and the Con Air plane can just crash right into it. Okay, and the kids area, like where they play carnival games, they only have one prize: the bunny.
Yeah.
Various different bunnies.
What about Squiddles and Scalemates?
They have,
those are like $40.
Yeah, no, those are in the gift shop. Those are expensive. The gift shops are stocked with Faygo and
God.
cosplay items. Every Homestuck is like, oh God, I wish this was real.
For the games, you actually hold the bunny and you have to make a chaos slam dunk
Chaos
into the
dunk.
box in order to keep the bunny as a prize.
Yeah, and when you lose, the guy goes, "Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?"
Yeah, and then he literally takes your bunny and packs it back up in the storage boxes.
Yeah, that sounds great.
You gotta pay $4.13 more to continue.
And they have attractions at this hotel and casino.
Oh, sort of like Circus Circus.
Yeah, but
Gamzee's Circus Circus. you
Yeah,
know?
so one of the attractions is you pay $5 and you could push that guy down the stairs.
Yeah. This is Gamzee's Dark Carnival section of the hotel. Aimed for the younger audience. You get to push people down flights of stairs. Well, what else would be some fun activities?
Well, you know who the resident house band is, right?
Who?
They're in the big showroom every night. Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, yeah. They do the performance.
Board outside.
Yes. It's for the kids.
Insane Clown Posse every night. When are they performing? Every night, man. Shaggy too dope. Every night.
Most work they've ever gotten.
And I have a secret. They actually have a secret Juggalo discount in the hotel on some of the rooms.
Yeah. Now
Your subjugulator card.
there's also a buffet. It's the
Yeah.
Guy Fieri Homestuck buffet, right? And the gimmick is that because it's all you can eat, everything is served in a bucket.
Yeah.
This is so real, it's scary.
They name every sauce grub sauce, and you don't know what's what.
It's all
Like,
just grub sauce.
I'd like the grub sauce and the person with the ladle, the cook. What does the cook wear? What's a cook uniform?
Cook uniform?
Yeah, cook uniform.
Betty Crocker.
Betty Crocker. And the Betty Crocker cooks are like, oh, what? Here's your grub sauce. And they scoop it onto your plate, and you're like, what
Yeah.
is this?
All the slot
What is this?
machines, the pull handle is a big red spoon.
Yeah.
It's the Homestuck, what's it called? Hotel California
Hotel California.
on the Las Vegas Strip. And we're going to go there when? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Which, while you're listening, was 2 days ago. This hurts my head. There's your mom. We just invented the Homestuck Hotel and Casino on the Las Vegas Strip. Fully themed. Fully themed. And Andrew Hussey's there, like Steve Wynn. He just glad hands and is like, "How you doing? You liking everything?" And they have a food court. They have a buffet and a food court. The food court has 12 restaurants, all Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
there's never a line.
The Taco Bell Pizza Hut the combination Pizza Hut and Taco
There's one of
Bell.
those, right?
Yeah.
And it's somewhere there's a hidden Subway. And every time you order a sandwich, they draw Homestuck
draw
characters on the
Yes.
wrapper.
Isn't that a
And-
burrito? No, it's you doubting my sub.
Where would I find the Olive Garden breadsticks? Is it like the room service?
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
It's whenever you go back to your room after night services has cleaned it, there's a couple of breadsticks on your bed.
Yeah.
Instead of late night mints, you get garlic breadsticks.
And instead of having a
Framed
bed,
horse paintings in every room.
Yeah.
and instead of sleeping in beds, you go in with Koopacoons. They fill it full of green sluds, and that's how you sleep in,
Yeah.
just like the trolls.
Yeah. You can go to the gift shop and get canned bread.
Yeah.
It's really delicious. And it has, you know how like the Silverton Casino has a giant Bass Pro Shop, right? Our Hotel California has the same size What Pumpkin.
Yeah.
It has a What Pumpkin as big as a shopping mall.
Now-
with every kind of horn, t-shirt, cosplay, vinyl figure, puzzle, sticker. There's a tattoo shop. Okay, if they had a tattoo shop at the casino that gives you a free Homestuck tattoo shop, what would it be called?
The Poems Inc., something like that. Something themed after Poem, who's the Homestuck character covered in tattoos.
Yes, this is a reality. We're going to make this happen, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to hit that in the morning tomorrow.
Oh,
In
yeah.
the early afternoon. All right, well, in the interest of going to Las Vegas, we're going to sign off on this show. Any last words on this episode? Episode 11. Episode 11.
And
How do we put 11 in the title?
I'm going to take out a letter and put in 1-1 right in there. It's going to be
And-
really cool.
special thanks again to Whisker Circuit and Game Killer 48 for the donations.
Yes.
Glad you're
How-
listening to the show.
Their 35 is going to get you all the way through Act 1. That's over an hour. How much money would it take to get you through the whole comic?
You know they're gonna do it.
So,
you know,
someone needs to do that math. Add up all of Collab and divide it by 90 minutes and see how much sessions it would take.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
well, Hussey once did a Midnight Coup event where you could pay $20 and he'll draw you whatever you want.
Yeah, it's just like that.
And people kept paying him $20 more to continue the adventure, so it was
Yeah.
a paid
It
adventure.
was paid $20 and Hussey would draw you whatever you want. Well, it started turning into a story where everyone would submit $20 and then add on to the previous person. It turned into this whole crowd-funded battle between these characters.
Well, hey, listen, we're not above your donation, so if you'd like to take over the show and dictate exactly what we'll be watching, the way Vriska has, go to patreon.com, patreon.com, and search 91 Reasons. Leave us a message. You can pledge $1. You know, there's no minimum. Everything's great as long as you're supporting the show. We're great with that. But leave us a message. Go on Facebook at Like 91 Reasons. You can see pictures of what we all look like. We're going to be posting pictures from our Las Vegas trip as soon as we get back. And it's a great way to interact with the show. I am also running a Kickstarter campaign for my series of books, The Sixth Key. You can go to Kickstarter.com and search my name, Jeff Tucker, or search the name of my third book, The Infinite Backward. There are also links on our Facebook page. I'm trying to raise $750 so that we can get all the accoutrements for WonderCon.
We will be there, by the way.
We'll be there either way. This is going to help defray costs of the table, the hotel room, and product to sell. All the donations are directly linked to book sales, so you're actually getting a pretty good tangible item for your donation. It's not like just give us money. We're not like that. And if you don't want to pledge, that's fine too. We will continue to do episodes. We love doing this. We sit down every week. Yes, sir?
It's not about the amount of the pledge, it's the thought of the pledge that counts.
Aren't you sweet? Look at you. I'm going to give you $1.
But seriously, though, if we get any sort of donation, I take it like, oh my god, I'm doing a good job.
I know. You came in all pale-faced. You're like, this guy wants to give me all these hats. What do I do? What do I do? I was like, take the guy's hats. He wants to give you the hats. Imagine how many hats that guy has if he's giving you a stack.
They're a top trader in the TF2 and
That's
Counter-Strike
pretty darn
communities.
cool.
Things that they have when you check their backpack,
I lost count. I lost count.
those
So,
are 50 each.
And they're a listener of 91 Reasons, which is really cool.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you love the show, Game Killer 48, and keep on listening.
We hope everybody keeps on listening because we'll keep on doing those until we run out of things to
Just
things to
never
say,
enough.
which could be never, right?
Could be never.
Could be never.
Be
Hussey
never.
said,
He's going to release Homestuck stuff till the end of time. But then it won't be as many soaps. He's got something else to plan, too.
And if you know Andrew Hussey and you'd like to appear on the show, just let us know. We will certainly come up with a way to do that because, in a show themed around stuff he creates, we might let him come on.
yeah,
Maybe.
We'll be at WonderCon with business cards.
We'll be at WonderCon with business cards,
Do you-
and more importantly, we'll be at WonderCon with the necessary equipment to record a show
At the meetup.
at the meetup. So we're going to arrange, as we get closer to WonderCon, we will arrange a time and place, and we will actually be there to record a show. If you want to be on 91 Reasons, look us up, find us there, go to the meetup, raise a glass of Faygo, and talk about the greatest webcomic ever created, which is called what?
Homestuck.
On the coolest podcast, which is called what? 91 Reasons.
Thanks for listening to 91 Reasons. Please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. Find us on Facebook. Is anyone even still listening?
So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
Laugh it up, fuzzball.